Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Addicts.
Hello and welcome to Geek Addicts, the pop culture podcast where we watch internet videos about people slaughtering each other. Is this the early 2000s? My name is Matt. With me as always, Bill Byron.
I blame Nevada. That goddamn clown. I'm doing well. I'm not really. I'm tired. This has been a fucking week. It's officially summer.
It hasn't been too bad yet, though. I mean, we've had some 80-degree days this week. We've only had like one little burst of like really fucking hot weather, but that was like a month ago. I don't want to speak too soon, but so far it's been rather mild, and I'm super here for it because the house that I live in is very old.
Yep.
ACs do not work in that house. It's too drafty. Does not hold the cold.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's once it gets up above like 85, it's fucking miserable in that house, especially because we're right off the coast, so it's humid as fuck.
Yeah. It's that time of year. It's also been raining a lot, which is great.
Well, that's probably helping in keeping the temp down, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. It's like hot rain though. It's never that fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you get warm rain like that, that's when you just stand in it.
Yeah.
Although you live like, yeah, your area is much more like. See, I could do that. I could just stand in my yard in my boxers and just stand in the rain. You can't really do that in your neighborhood.
Considering my my neighbor's other house is like right there. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are pretty tightly packed.
Yeah, condos, you know.
Yeah. Oh well.
And I'm surrounded by ladies, so that's probably not a smart decision.
Hey, you never know. You never know, man.
I don't think that's happening.
Oh, jeez.
Most of them are old enough to be the same age as my mother, so.
Hey, you never know. Oh, jeez.
But yeah. This week.
What have you been up to, Bill? How's things been going?
I've been
doing lots of podcasting, or
a lot of podcasting. I'm now officially I've been the co-manager, but I've basically just officially taken over the fucking Superpod Instagram page. That's now just my project I'm working on.
Okay.
Been doing that for this week a lot.
And that was kind of your start with just being an Instagram blogger. So there you
go. Yeah, and
at least it's something you're familiar with.
Except I'm not, because they've changed the algorithm so much now. I don't even know how to do my own page anymore. Yeah. I'm trying to do reels now, and it's been a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really my thing, but I've got to figure it out if I want to keep doing it. So
yeah, I can't imagine reels being your wheelhouse.
No, I don't appear in them ever, so I haven't gone that far yet, but it's a lot for like no return. Pokemon still works though. Pokemon always seems to be an instant attention.
Oh, you mean like Pokemon themed things? Yeah.
Yeah. Posting very expensive DS games. That gets people's attention.
Speaking of Pokemon and DS, I discovered well, first of all, I'm pretty sure I brought this up on the podcast before. But turns out the Mystery Dungeon cartoon I had seen when I was a kid, it wasn't just a failed pilot. It was actually a promotional thing. The confusion came from at the end of it, there's a to be continued thing. but they actually did one of those for each of the Mystery Dungeon games that came out.
Oh,
And they all are on YouTube.
good to know.
Apparently, the Explorers one though kind of spoils the end of the game.
Okay.
I didn't watch it, but I was doing a little bit of research about it after I had found out that they were all there and realized like what the situation was. But my daughter is really into that first one. She really likes it.
It's understandable.
It's just the beginning with like the Squirtle waking up and be like, "Oh, a Pokemon!" and it's going out with Charmander, and they do like little adventures. There's music from the games. They do like the little quest where they put the Skarmory, and that's pretty much the whole thing. It's like 20 minutes altogether.
Nice.
But it's a fun little special. I'm glad that it exists, but honestly, like if they had just done the whole series, done like an actual series, and just did the story of the game, it would be a much more entertaining and like enjoyable show than just Pokemon.
Well, the Pokemon anime is literally not very good when you actually break it down. Now, if they had based it off like Adventures, then that would be something. But Adventures is a little too dark for an anime.
Yeah, but anime's always toned down the darkness a little bit, you know, especially shonen shows. They always tone it down a bit.
See, if we don't have Green's arm falling off at one point, I don't want to watch it.
Well, see, that I'm sure that they could get away with because it turns out to not actually be the case.
But it's shocking.
Probably get away with it.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I think Adventures is like that weird like thing that like Nintendo has to be aware of it and they just let it exist for some reason, even though it goes so far against everything Nintendo seems to stand for.
Well, I mean, the fact that it's still going has to mean that it does fairly well.
It's still going with the same creative team for the most part.
So, I mean, if they're making the money, I highly doubt that they give a shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I'm sure they get a cut.
Oh no, they definitely do. They probably get most of it, to be honest.
Probably. But no, it was kind of cool, like going back and watching that after not seeing it since fucking 2006 or 7 when it came out.
That makes sense.
But Frankie's been like asking to watch it like 4 or 5 times in a row. Like I said, it's only 20 minutes, so it's just constantly fucking. He's like, all right, put it back on.
That was such a different time as a child when you could just watch the same thing over and over again and you would never question it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you watch like something and you struggle to get through like one 20-minute episode.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of that, did you see the most recent vending machine?
I haven't caught up with anything. I'm probably going to do all that tomorrow.
Okay, so you still haven't seen the complete jumping the shark moment that I described to you?
No, I have not. And I haven't seen the concluding 2 episodes of Dr. Stone either. So I almost don't want to watch them because I don't want it to end because I like the show so much. But yeah, it's what it is. Whatever.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I did finish Young Justice though.
Nice.
And it definitely see Young Justice is such a weird monster because like by the time it starts, it's like, well, we're already expecting you to know all this lore, even though we're kind of doing our own thing with the lore in this. So it's like you're expected to know lore that doesn't technically exist, but it kind of does because just the history of DC.
You're expected to know very vague lore.
And then like as you're going through, like for each season, they'll like be setting up all these different things for like the following season. And then the following season happens, and it's like, yeah, forget all that stuff. We're doing this now. It's 5 years later. All this stuff has happened. This person's dead. This person's a traitor. Blah, blah, blah. I've already talked about all this. But then they do it again in the 4th season, which came out, I think, 5 years ago. And they like set up all this stuff for like a later season and nothing.
Well,
Um,
because that show is like perpetually canceled.
yeah, well, it's been canceled like 3 times. It only has 4 seasons. So,
It'll be revived and canceled again because that's just how that fucking the crumble cookies. I swear.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good show. I actually really liked what they did with the last season, where instead of doing like one continuous arc or doing just like a series of isolated episodes, it was like little 3 to 5 episode mini arcs throughout the season that would focus around different characters, and like that was cool. I like that. It was like a little movie for each character.
I just find it really
like, and then there was like a couple of strings that were going throughout the whole season. Like Beast Boy was fucked up in that whole last season. Like he was all fucking. His trauma finally became too much.
Yeah. See, I just find it incredible that the name of that show has always been fucking amusing to me because if you actually read the Young Justice comic from back in the 90s, that show is nothing like the comic. Like, not even close.
They also never call themselves Young Justice. They're always just the team.
Well, the Young Justice show is closer to Teen Titans than the Teen Titans cartoon was. Young Justice was a very different comic because I don't think any of the actual Young Justice characters even appear until like Tim shows up. Because the original Young Justice team was Tim, Superboy, Connor Kent, the Third Wonder Girl, and Bart Allen.
So in the Young Justice comic, is Connor still a clone, or
he wasn't when it started? that happened later.
Okay,
that was a retcon that they added later on. He was a clone, but he wasn't a Luthor clone yet.
Okay,
like the Luthor thing, I think happened during the Teen Titans run from 2003.
Gotcha. But no, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I kind of wish they would like commit to like if they're gonna do like a storyline and not just individual episodes like the old animated shows. I kind of wish that they would like stick to something and actually like bring things to fruition. Because there were so many points where it's just like, we're setting this up to be a certain thing, and then the next season would come out and be like, psych.
We're setting this up to be a thing, and then we got canceled for 5 years, and then we came back and forgot what the fuck we were doing.
Well, not even that. Even just between season 1 and season 2, when like they were steadying, just going through as they were supposed to be.
I'm pretty sure there was a gap between seasons 1 and 2 as well.
Really?
Jesus yeah. That show, the entire history of that show is fucked. It's
been canceled. Show's been canceled more than Futurama.
Well, swear to God. It also doesn't help too that DC went through fucking a massive change over the course of that show's run. Because that show started
2012, I think.
Okay, so right at the start of New 52, and then they had already been rebirth had happened by the time the 3rd season came out, and now we just live in that fucking everything is canon time where it's canon if it's necessary, and if it's not necessary, just don't think about it.
It was just weird though, like going through it, because there were so many points where it's like they just expected you to know all this lore.
Welcome to comics.
Oh, we're gonna take a well. It's one thing with comics. You pick up a comic and there's lore there. When it's just a self-contained cartoon for children, you kind of, you don't have to like really handhold them through the whole thing, but there should be a little bit of explanation on what the fuck is going on.
Yes, there should be.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but comic,
like the first time they brought up a boom tube, I'm like, what the fuck is a boom tube or a mother box? I don't know what any of these things are. And I grew up with this shit.
Yeah, comics,
just weird. But anywho, I did enjoy my run through it, but at the same time, I am glad I'm done with it. I wasn't expecting it to be as fucking convoluted as it ended up being.
Well, I just love comic theory. Getting into comic shit for a minute, like comic theorizers are the funniest people ever because they can like theorize all this shit and like they'll write like essays on it, and then the creators will just be like, "That's fucking stupid." No, and then it's this. like my favorite is like there's a fucking essays about how like Lois and Superman's relationship would work, and they're all like, they need to do all this stupid shit, blah blah blah, and then like a comic creator's like, No, they just had a kid naturally. Don't even fucking think about it. It's not that weird. They're just like, stop being weird.
Yeah, for real.
They're like, it's not that deep.
So yeah, speaking of DC Comics, actually, I am in fact going to see Supergirl tomorrow.
Same. Me and Alex are going to see it tomorrow at some point too.
Oh, I'm going to see it with my sister.
Nice.
So that's fun. I'm actually very excited for it. We're going to the 6:00 showing, and
We're going to a 6:10. That's funny.
So okay, so we'll be texting each other right after we get out. I thought the movie was going to be longer because when I was looking up the show times and shit, I saw that it was under 2 hours. Like, holy shit! Especially since Superman was like 220?
Yeah, just a little over 2 hours.
And like, you know, for the most part, superhero movies tend to be 2 hours at least minimum. So I was really surprised.
True. The thing with Supergirl is though, you got to remember Supergirl does technically have a source material.
But yeah, I mean, technically they all have source material.
108 minutes. Wow.
Yeah,
that's short.
Yeah, it's like 100. It's an hour 40. Like it's just over like, you know, what used to be the average.
Yeah, it's funny. It's got to be to it. It's got to be because it's based off a source material, and there's only so much they can pull through there. I mean, they are adding a little bit because I know Lobo is going to be a big deal, but
yeah, fucking Jason Momoa because they just can't not.
Well, it's like that SpongeBob meme where James Gunn is Mr. Krabs going, "All of you get the hell out of here, except you can stay," and it's basically just Jason Momoa.
That's funny because when you said SpongeBob, I was expecting you to be like do like a I don't need it.
I mean, let's be real. If anyone was gonna play fucking Lobo, it was Jason Momoa. Fair. It's like a perfect casting right there.
I just don't know where the fuck this dude came from because all of a sudden he just came out of the woodwork and he's in fucking everything.
I still think the funniest was when they did that Street Fighter. There's a new Street Fighter movie coming out, and Momoa.
I have heard, and I'm friends with a few big Street Fighter fans, and they are very excited.
So they did a reveal for it at one of those like the Keeley Award shows. Yeah. And my God, the actors looked so uninterested in being there, except Jason Momoa. But I'm also convinced he was wasted at the time. But yeah, they all looked absolutely miserable. Didn't want to be there. Jason Momoa was the only one that seemed to be having fun. And I will always. And my favorite part of that presentation was the fact that they had the balls to call out Mortal Kombat. And I'm just like, excuse me, sirs. They've had at least 3 good movies. You've had none, unless you count the anime movie.
Now maybe they've had 3 good movies.
No, at the time they made that statement, they had 3 good movies. Because
Annihilation is a good movie.
Original Mortal Kombat 2 and original Mortal Kombat, the remake, and then the sequel to the remake.
Had the sequel come out yet? Didn't it come out?
It was
just came out in May.
Yeah, it was around when the awards presentation was.
Fair enough.
But even then, it's still they've had good movies. Street Fighter's had none.
Get to see it. Just bummer.
Yeah.
Hey, that anime is a masterpiece.
That anime is just it's good, but like I wouldn't call it a movie. It's more just a bunch of fight scenes
and a shower what is more combat. I mean,
well, apparently the later movies are actually pretty good. But
well, I saw the first of the like reboot movies. I haven't seen the new one, but
I've heard the second one's like even better. To be honest, I gotta sit down and watch those at some point.
Well, they got fucking what's his name for Johnny Cage. What the fuck is his name? He's in fucking everything. He's in like every fucking major franchise. He's in Lord of the Rings. He was in fucking the Star Trek movies. He was in Thor.
Did he play Kirk?
No, he played Bones.
Bones. 1 second.
Keith, Carl Urban.
Oh, Carl. Oh, okay.
I was gonna keep there with Carl Urban. I know the difference, but it's just the K names and the urban. It's confusing.
No, I hear you.
But no, it's when it hits HBO Max, I'll watch it. Because I'm pretty sure it's out of theaters by now, right?
Yeah,
Oh, maybe
that's been out of theaters for a while.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'll see Supergirl tomorrow, and that'll be good.
Yeah. Probably the only movie I'm gonna see this year.
You're not gonna go see Clayface?
When does that come out?
October.
Maybe we'll see how October's going. See where we're at, where we're at when we get to October.
But yeah, aside from that, I have started reading the second Milestone Compendium.
Nice.
Continues to be very enjoyable. I just started the Worlds Collide crossover, which goes for like 14 issues across like multiple different series.
Sounds about right.
Starting with Superman. So, I mean, I've already just for the first issue that I've read, I've seen that there's appearances from Superman, Superboy, and Wonder Woman. So that's fun.
Nice.
I've seen little bits and pieces of it from the static DC's Finest, but it didn't include every issue that like comprised the big cross. It only included the ones with static in them.
The static ones, yeah.
So
that's cool.
So it'll be nice to get the full story behind that. But it's a big section of the compendiums themselves are like 1,300 pages.
Yeah.
And like a good quarter of it is just the crossover.
Nice.
So,
I've been reading a bit of the some Blue Beetle. That's been my reading lately.
Very nice.
Particularly, I read the Rebirth series, which is okay, and then I started reading the most recent Blue Beetle series that came out like 2023-ish. It's been okay. I gotta read the actual full stuff. It's weird because like Ted Kord is alive again, so now we got both of the Blue Beetles running around doing stuff.
Okay.
It's fun though. I like Jaime as a character.
That's cool.
He's definitely more interesting. He's basically like DC's Spider-Man, to be honest.
I guess so. It's kind of hard to really nail down though, because I feel like there's a few, like personality-wise, there's a few characters that could fit that bill.
The reason I say Blue Beetle is very Spider-Man-esque is Ted Kord, not the original Blue Beetle. The original Blue Beetle was Dan Garrett, but the one that most people know, Ted Kord, was actually created by Steve Ditko, Spider-Man's co-creator.
Okay, interesting.
And then Jaime's got the whole like he's a high school student kind of thing, like learning the powers. They're bug themed. He's got a similar Spider-Man kind of thing. He's quippy, stuff like that. It's like the most Marvel feeling character I think DC's come out with. Pretty good though. I'm liking it so far.
Very nice. You done any gaming this week at all?
I played Sonic Crossworlds yesterday with Thrack and Tony. That was pretty fun. It's a good kart racer for the most part.
Nice.
I have not really had a lot of time to do anything else, unfortunately.
I've mostly been playing Final Fantasy 3 this week. I'm about the halfway point.
Did you end up doing the 3D version or the original?
The Pixel Remaster.
Okay.
Because Steam was doing a sale for all 6 plus the soundtracks for like $40. So I just said fuck it, got that.
It's not bad. Yeah, three's okay. It's the problem.
I actually really like the soundtrack for 3.
It's a good one. It's not my favorite Oimatsu soundtrack, but it's pretty good. My problem with 3 is the fact that 5 exists and 5 basically does the 3 idea better.
I mean, you could say that about a lot of long-running series where they change things up each time.
Maybe, sorta. It's weird with Final Fantasy because the first three are very 8-bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like
there's a charm to that though. Like I enjoy that.
Sure, I see. I'm not a huge 8-bit fan.
No,
8-bit doesn't really do it for me.
but with the pixel rematches, at least they added some like quality of life improvements. Not nothing too major, just like little stuff that just makes it a little bit easier to go through.
Yeah. See, the other
difficulty and such.
The other thing with the first three that makes it harder for me to get into those ones is the fact that they don't have active time battle hasn't been introduced yet.
That's not until 6, right? Do they do that?
4 is the first
okay.
one.
I thought 6 did it first.
No, it was 4 through 9 use it, and then it was brought back for 10-2.
Okay.
And it's kind of been sporadically used throughout like the franchise. Like Chrono Trigger uses a heavily modified version of active time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a battle system I really like. I like the fact that you can't just like sit there and like you can't just sit there. Like you actually have to constantly use your brain during battles. It's just a fun system.
I gotcha. Well, I mean, I like that too, but I also just like just a traditional turn-based system where you can just put it down for a minute if you need to. You don't have to just sit there and stare at it. Like that's part of the draw for me for turn-based RPGs is the freedom to just put it down for a minute and go do something, or even if like if you have something on the TV and you something comes on that you want to watch for a few minutes, you could look away from it without having to worry about it.
Yeah. See, I'm just used to like playing games like the Tales series where they're not turn-based; they're basically action RPGs. When you get into battles, so there's no sitting and waiting.
But yeah, I'm at about the halfway point, so we'll see. Maybe by the next time we record, I'll be done. Probably not though, because with the way next week is gonna be being the 4th and all, we may have to rethink the timing of when we choose to record next. But
yeah,
but I'm enjoying my time with it so far. I am happy to be back in Final Fantasy because it's been quite a while since I picked one up.
Yeah.
So it is nice to get back to it.
Nice. All right. Do we want to get into our topic for this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we're doing something a little different this week. We're doing another web series, a Newgrouds series in particular. Do you remember Newgrouds back in the day?
Oh, who doesn't?
Oh, Newgrouds. It was the only one of the rare like sites like that where if you actually didn't like something, you could like just downvote it into straight up oblivion. The old that old system. There's just something charming about that where if like someone posts some absolute garbage, the community could just like band together and be like, no, you do better. And just
you go away now.
That's honestly probably why so much of the content on there was at least decent quality, even if it didn't always appeal to you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the series we're going to be talking about today is, excuse me, Madness Combat in particular, as it is called. It is a action series, I guess that's the best way to describe it. Created by Matt Jolly, aka Crinkles, and
the best way I was able to like sum up this web series is, to me, it felt like Happy Tree Friends for edgelords.
Yeah. It's pretty.
That's kind of like the impression I got from it. Although I do remember, as I was watching it, I realized that I had seen that first episode years ago. Probably.
The first episode is legit the dumbest one because it's just. So this series is funny because it started out basically as just a dumb little flash animation, and then it became this like 12-part fucking epic with like one of those like subtle stories that's not like shown on screen, but you kind of have to like piece it together through background stuff. Because the first episode is literally just a guy in a field who just beats up a random dude with a boombox.
Yeah.
And then Jeebus shows up. and shit gets wacky.
That happens a lot.
Well, he's a main character of this adventure,
as well as the demon clown.
Tricky, yes, he's one of. So this series is broken up into a couple arcs. There's the Sheriff Saga, which was the first 3 episodes. The Tricky the Clown Saga, which was episode 4 through 7.5, and then the Auditor Saga, which was episode 8, and it's continued on into the currently unreleased episode 13. And then there was also the Demos Adventure, which is a spin-off series that is canon to the entire adventure.
Yeah, so to me, as I mentioned earlier in the week, this just seemed like just a whole bunch of killing, and I was not following any sort of plot. So if there is a plot / canon to this, I'm going to need you to explain it to me.
So explaining the plot of Madness is kind of, it's the most perfectly named series because it fucking is madness. Like there is legit no rhyme or reason for what's going on. It takes place in Nevada, and the series is just kind of nuts. The first episode is literally the then unnamed hero. The main character of the series is named Hank J. Wimbledon. And he literally just starts a fight in the first one for no reason. Kills the boombox guy and the random dancing man in the corner for no reason. Then by episode 2, we're suddenly on this mission to kill the sheriff for no reason.
Okay.
It's never really explained. He's just, the sheriff has to die, so he's going to go do it. You also notice really quick there is like extraterrestrial forces that every time Hank dies, he just gets brought back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never, at first it's just kind of like, oh, he's back now. But then later you find out, no, there's like an outer force that's just bringing him back every time. Who we don't actually get revealed to until, God, I think like episode one of the point. I think it's like one of the point episodes. Actually, no, I think it's actually Demos Adventures, where the guy first appears. Is known as the Doc, who is basically his entire gimmick is he just brings people back from hell.
Okay.
But yeah, you kind of go through these. So we have a couple main characters here. We got obviously Hank. The main antagonists are Jeebus, who is a random dude who looks like Jesus, and he's got mystical powers.
Of course.
He's known as the Savior. There's also Tricky the Clown, who is basically an undead clown, and the whole gimmick with Tricky is he's so fucked up that hell doesn't want him. Like that's why anytime he appears on screen, like anytime they kill him, it immediately was like, you cannot kill Clown. The clown kills you. Because as we learn later in the series, when Tricky does go to hell, shit gets fucked. Like really bad. Because he's not allowed in hell because he is that fucked up.
Clowns.
And then we also have the sheriff, who is just a dickhead for no reason. So the funny part about the sheriff is he was established as the main antagonist in the first 3 episodes, but Crinkles hated him so much that once he killed him off, he just said, fuck that. We're not going to worry about him anymore. He's just gone. And then he started the actual Tricky Saga and the Auditor Saga. The Auditor is the main antagonist. He's this shadowy figure that basically is playing. He's kind of playing the strings in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And in the early episodes, things are just kind of, it's very typical, just kind of like Hank goes from room to room and just murders everyone in sight.
Yeah, lots of people.
Like, what do you think of the animation, like the action segments?
I mean, the animation itself was smooth, especially for the time. I don't know, like how spread out these all were. I mean, if you're still making them and they're only up to like 18 specific videos that he's done.
So it's
for the mainline series at least.
It's actually a bit more complicated than that, believe it or not. So let's bring up he actually made a game too. There's a game on Steam that he worked on. But so the first episode aired. This is YouTube time, so this probably isn't even accurate because these were on Newgrouds originally. But was 14 years ago. So it looks like he posted up through episode 9 on YouTube at the same time because those are all 14 years ago. So the original probably goes back even farther.
Oh, it definitely does because 14 years ago. God damn. I was 18.
Yeah,
And
actually,
I saw this when I was a child, so yeah, it's definitely further than that.
let me look this up real quick.
Fuck, man. I was 18 and 14 years ago.
Well, I remember watching these as a young child. 2002 was when the first Madness Combat released.
Yeah, that's about right.
And I'm pretty sure they were fairly consistent up until like around like the halfway point where they really started getting more and more complex.
Wild. Started getting all these fucking like shadow demons from hell popping in and out. Like,
I mean, you look at the animation in the first episode and then you compare it to like episode like 12 and it's like, holy shit.
Well, even the first couple episodes, like it's really smooth and well done for the time. Like,
oh yeah, it's all Flash.
2000s. Yeah,
yeah, because
I never really understood what the fuck Flash animation means.
It's just a style of animation. They use like Adobe Flash. It's what a lot of modern cartoons use. It's just a style. It's
gotcha.
It's not like hand drawn. I'm pretty sure it's mostly like rigged together.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can tell very much that he has like a bunch of like all these assets, and he really just kind of uses those for his for the animation style.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was like at least 7-year gap between episode 10 and episode 11.
How many years?
7 years.
Jesus.
And then there was an additional 6 between 11 and 12. Keep in mind, he did all the 0.5s during a lot of that time. Because fun thing about the 0.5s. So later on in the series, we get introduced to more side characters. We get introduced to Sanford and Demos, who are Hank's little sidekicks.
Mm-hmm.
And they first appeared in episode 9. But a lot of fans had a theory back in the day that the two randos who got crushed by the building in episode 4 or 5, in episode 5, everyone was like, was that those two? Like, can we just like pretend that was who those were? And then years later, he's like, all right, we're gonna make this a thing, and he explained their entire backstory there, which is funny. This series also has one of the funniest running jokes ever because it's like just one of those things that once you notice it, you'll never unsee it.
What's that?
Crinkles has a thing against smokers.
Oh, really?
Did you notice anytime a character lights up a cigarette, they are guaranteed to die shortly after?
No, I didn't notice that.
No, that's a running joke. Like he has made it like a point that anytime a character lights a cigarette, they're basically guaranteed to die. Which was
what were you trying to say with that?
I think you can guess what he's trying to say there. But they're like, because I always think of like the opening to episode 6, the first one that had like Hank's like real official design reveal with the red shades. That one literally starts where he's driving the car, and then you get the two guys smoking in front of the building, and then he immediately runs into them like 3 seconds later. And I'm like, yep, they were doomed from the start. Because that was a big deal when Demos lights that cigarette. Everyone was like, "Oh no, like he's gonna die," which he then shortly does later. Although he gets resurrected in the most bizarre, convoluted way possible.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm going through some of the other things. Other fun running jokes. One of the best like side characters who appears throughout the series is the hot dog vendor.
Oh yeah.
Because he is one of the rare characters that never dies. Like you'll notice, like when a fight's going on, like Hank, Tricky, and all these like characters tend to just murder everyone in sight. The hot dog vendor is always spared because he's a true innocent bystander, and they let him live.
Like they do with the boombox, wasn't?
Well, that was episode 1. Well, the boombox guy's the first death in the series.
He was innocent. He just likes his music.
Hank wanted the boombox more. The dancing guy in the background, though, he was definitely that was an unnecessary kill.
But that's exactly where I was going with that. It's like, what, can he be the only one dancing too?
Episode 1, Hank was kind of an asshole. Like, well, to be fair, Hank is kind of, there is no hero in this series. As far as
It's
I
really
can tell.
funny too because episode 1, I'm pretty sure I saw this like back when it first came out. And it might have even been the only episode out at the time.
Probably was because like,
But I remember specifically like the end bit with him, like with all the corpses around him. He's dancing with the fucking jukebox or whatever, boombox. And then the text crawl or whatever.
and then our hero slayed 80 men.
Yeah, he killed 30 people that day. 32 if you count the zombies. Like,
Yep. Now you can clearly tell this wasn't supposed to be an ongoing series at first, and then it just became this behemoth for no reason.
And this is just like I feel like this is part of like it was a thing at the time on the internet where just everything had to be ultra violent as possible. Like, which is why I mentioned Happy Tree Friends earlier. I mean,
see, Happy Tree Friends kind of goes for the shock value. There's no shock value in this. This is just exactly what you'd expect it to be.
it's guns and knives and swords. It's
The fun part about like watching this series is how creative Hank gets with his fucking murder, like kills. Like, because you learn like watching this real fast. You're always like, never stand behind a box because he will crush you with it. Don't stand behind a table; he will crush you with that. Don't ever. If you come at Hank with a chainsaw, he's going to use that chainsaw to kill you.
Yeah, he's very good at disarming and then using that very weapon against you.
Like my favorite is like the when like he just like a person like throws a knife at him and he just catches it, just throws it back. Or
Classic.
Or like the one dude like who in the second episode who's like they're looking for the sheriff. He's like, where's the sheriff? And he like threatens him, and the guy just finally gives in. They just fucking bashes him with the fucking gun and just walks off.
Yep.
I love the subtle commentary though throughout these like little like meta jokes, because like one of my favorites is the start of episode 6 where Hank's on top of the building and there's that glass sunlight that he breaks through. But if you pause the video and read the little plaque next to the sunlight, it says, "Please do not break glass sunlight and come in and kill everyone inside, please." Like little stuff like that. All the background posters are really funny too. Like the organization is the villain organization is the AAHW, Agents Against Hank Wimbledon.
Oh. That's good.
So what do you think of like how like the animation just progresses throughout? Because like you look at the newest episode compared to like the older ones, it's like night or day.
Oh, for real. I mean, that's just one of those things that, with the way that things progress over time, like, even if he hasn't been making them consistently, just the tools themselves have become so much more readily available and advanced that it's a lot easier nowadays to do these kinds of things than say back in 2002.
Yeah. No, it's crazy too, because like I love how he just like takes like little minor events throughout this, and then we'll just bring them back later and explain stuff. Like one of the biggest mind trip episodes to me is is 9.5, where we all of a sudden are like, oh yeah, if you were wondering what happens every time Hank dies and goes to hell, he has to fight his way back out. Because there's that mind trip where we get the two different Hanks running around.
Oh yeah.
And the one that happens to get caught by the thing is the one that he resurrects into, like when he becomes the weird like lobster man towards the end.
Yeah, that was weird.
Also, what do you think of the so there's the scene in episode 10, I want to say, where the auditor is going around and he's slowly kind of losing the fight, and he starts just absorbing all these like dead bodies everywhere, and he accidentally absorbs the clown.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that was kind of to be expected, especially when it's like a fucked up lore clown where like no, even hell doesn't like this fucker. Like,
well, because that's the funniest part is like he absorbs the clown, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit,
what have I done?
Because we find out in the next episode that little world they're stuck in, that's actually like the auditor's personal hell. Like it's not even hell, it's his own hell. And like because Tricky's in there now, he's just completely corrupted it into this madness. And like
Yeah.
basically they're fighting him in there, the auditor manages to like break free of it. And he's like, thank fucking God, because that was bad.
Yeah.
There's also a few like surprise episodes, like the one where like Jeebus is like the main character for no reason.
Mhm.
I did enjoy his like random like, so in that one episode where like with the train, I do enjoy that part where like he's just like raking leaves and he's like, I'm done with this shit.
Mhm.
Because we find out in the point fives he actually just flat out quit. He was like, I'm done with this. Go on.
Can't say I blame him.
I mean, because like another side plot too is the improbability drive, which is a thing that the sheriff activates in episode 2. I want to say, no, not episode 2. It's episode 3, where he creates that drive, and then the world starts going to insanity, because that's like when like the fucking sun comes to life. Did you notice when the sun comes to life and he kills the sun, the sky immediately just goes black?
Oh yeah, it did.
And it's black the rest of the series, with that weird like hellish red light just appearing slowly.
I never even realized that.
That's a little like subtle thing you notice like on like repeat watches, because he just straight up murders the sun, so the world is just dark after that for the rest of it.
It's actually kind of cool. I used to pay attention to that.
Oh, it's a thing that you don't notice it right away, but then once you know about it, you see it, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Hmm.
I also like the attention to detail. Like he keeps all like the injuries like consistent. Like when Hank gets shot in the head in the second episode, he comes back in 3 with the bandages.
Hmm.
And then when he gets stabbed through the chest, he comes back with that wound. And then by the 5th episode, he's been blown up into a million pieces. So he's just like basically taped back together. I do love the scene though when like Tricky murders him in episode 6, and he's just like, "You don't kill the clown kills you," and just rips his head off and smashes it into the ground. It's just such a insane, nonsensical series. Like it just goes completely like all over the place.
It's such a like, even though I know like some of these have come out like a lot more recently, even the newer ones still feel like a time capsule.
Oh, it's very much a series from its era.
It all feels like it's still early to mid 2000s, even the stuff that came out like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, if anything, it's just gotten edgier because that style is like so distinct.
Hmm.
Like it's an era of the internet that I kind of miss, just because like we don't get shit like this anymore.
It was a time when kind of all bets were off. And like a lot of creativity was allowed to just flow the way it would. And yeah, a lot of it was very violent, which is kind of an inherent thing that came with it. But we got a lot of very memorable things out of it.
No, we did. Like Newgrounds, I'm happy that site still exists, even though that site got me in trouble quite a bit back in the day. You remember when they used to just run porn ads on that site all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that as a child, and I was like, oh, I see.
But there was that, and there was also, you click on the wrong video or game, and there'd be some pretty sus stuff on there too.
Oh, you mean like that like long running like Princess Peach platformer that was just like a porn game that went on for way longer than it should have?
Yeah.
Newgrounds. Hey, he had to keep the site going somehow.
Again, all bets were off.
I just remember many a time where I'd be on browsing Newgrounds and fucking parents would walk in and I'd just be like, I can explain.
I swear I wasn't just looking at this.
Even though you're like, it totally was.
Christ.
Such a crazy thing. What's funny too about Madness is it actually spawned from, because you remember how Newgrounds you could like do your own submissions and like post like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They for a long time on Newgrounds, like people would post their own like Madness parodies and stuff, and like Crinkles would actually like react to a lot of them, and he gave like his stamp of approval on most of them, which is funny. Some of them are ridiculous. I always think of like the some of the crazy ones where they just make it a comedy sketch for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's There's also he did a bunch of like non-canon, like crazy side animations that get like really dark as fuck for no reason.
That makes sense.
I do like the music throughout the series too.
Hmm.
Not even just the goofy songs, like the actual like action stuff.
Yeah, it's very fitting with.
I mean, because
with the
it starts
situations.
it starts with the chicken dance. Always remember that.
Yeah, this is true.
The chicken dance, and then there's that weird like country western song in episode 2, which is just which oddly fits all that murder that's going on.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's definitely a style of that time though. Like it really is.
Maybe I'll watch them with Xander.
Yeah, you might be
I
into
bet
it.
you he'll appreciate it. I'm sure.
It's entertaining. Like you, even if like you don't care about the plot, like just kind of like because a lot of the plot, unfortunately, you really do have to go read like a wiki article to figure out what's going on.
I kind of figured it was gonna be one of those deals. Like, just getting into like the third episode, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get any story here. I'm just, there might be some things that carry over, but it's just murder, just lots and lots of murder.
The plot really doesn't start till like episode 6, like at least sorta. I mean, we don't even really get Hank's name until like episode 5, I think, maybe. Well, actually, no. I think it first appears in like episode 3 on one of the wanted posters that has his name. But
yeah,
I'm curious what's gonna happen next because episode 12 was fucking insanity. Because that was another Hank's dead episode, and it was mostly Sanford was the main character in that one, and he gets like almost ripped in half at one point.
Oh yeah,
he's the only he's the only character in the series that hasn't died yet. Main character, that is.
Interesting. Well, clearly death is no consequence. So,
well, yeah, you can get resurrected by the doc. But apparently, if you read like the little background stuff, apparently he wants Sanford alive for some reason. So he's making sure that he doesn't die, despite the utter hell he goes through in those last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Madness Combat. It is like literally one of the quintessential early 2000s like Newgrounds animations that's still going today, which is crazy.
That is wild. It's pretty rare to see anything from back then still running today.
Yeah, especially how long it's been running. Because nobody really remembers everything from that era. But this is one of the few that a lot of people still do look fondly back on.
For sure.
I think too, if like you look at like just like the view counts, like these are all in like the millions of views.
Oh yeah. But it's also one of those series that's, I can tell, even though I'd only like seen the first 1, maybe 2 of them back in the day, like these are easily ones that are, you can go back to them multiple times, and especially, showing them to other people and everything, they're short videos. It's easy to watch them through multiple times.
Yeah.
Without getting sick of them.
No, that's 100% for sure. Honestly, I love this shit. Just looking back on it, it's so nostalgic.
It makes me want to go back and like try to find a lot of the old fucking videos I used to watch.
I got to it's been forever. I got to rewatch Super Mario Brothers Z.
I think I do remember that.
It never was finished. It like because the creator like quit like 4 times, tried to reboot it, and then quit again because he got C&D'd by Nintendo.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, the original run though was phenomenal. I remember because I remember like it was they would just basically it was Dragon Ball Z but with Mario characters.
Yeah,
Mario and Sonic characters, I should say.
That's what made it fun.
Very long though, like a lot of action for no reason.
For sure.
God, now I gotta look up all these old Flash animations that probably don't exist anymore.
I was just scroll. When was the last time I went on Newgrounds?
I'm actually curious. Is Newgrounds is still up, I believe.
It's gotta be.
Yep, newgrounds.com. Oh god, it's exactly what you'd expect. Clicking on it.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, it's very, very predictable.
Is it? Let me see. Let's see here.
I'd share the screen, but I don't trust. I don't trust that.
Let's see here. It's still loading. Rendered in 64 polygons.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Crinkle still posts here. That's funny.
Holy crap, dude. That's. I'm like having flashbacks right now.
You know what's insane? If you actually go on Crinkle's page, it actually shows the years everything came out, and it's all like 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he pretty much was pretty consistent up until around like 2013. And then there's like a gap till 16, 18, 20. It definitely gets more spread out.
That's wild, man.
That is funny. God, this site is insanity.
For real.
I don't even think I have a Newgrounds account anymore, to be honest.
God, just like flipping through a little bit, like I'm seeing so many classic ones.
I'm actually curious. Is Super Mario Brothers Z still here? Oh yeah, yep, there it is. When was the last time they posted? 2021. Yep, that's about right. Yeah, the original series is still here. Oh yeah, because they only made 8 episodes, and then something happened. There was some sort of controversy happened. I remember that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
God, I miss this goddamn
the era. Old days of the internet.
This era of the internet was so fun. I love the Newgrounds guy though, because he just didn't give a fuck. Like he would just do whatever.
For real.
Then YouTube showed up and ruined everything.
Yeah, then sites like Newgrounds and Funny Junk and
Funny Junk. Like that. Even though Funny Junk just stole most of their shit from Newgrounds, it was still funny.
It's still all from Newgrounds or College Humor, but it was still great.
Oh man, that was fucking an era.
Actually, I remember funnyjunk.com. I think was the first time. Have you ever heard of the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins?
I vaguely remember that, but I'd have to look it up because I don't remember.
It was this doofy ass fucking like music video. It was a song about Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit, sung by Leonard Nimoy. And that was the first thing I ever saw Leonard Nimoy in as a child.
That's
many years before my first episode of Star Trek.
That's funny. See, I remember it was Newgrounds, Funny Junk, and then the other site I always remember forever was YTMND. Do you remember YTMND?
Maybe.
That was like the site where like it was like you're the man now, dog. There was a whole bunch of different like little skits and stuff. I always remember that one because that's where we got like the card song.
That's still the tagline on it.
It's not nearly as popular as it used to be. They used to be like massively popular back in the day.
Now it's just YouTube. It's not YouTube or Instagram. Doesn't matter.
The front page is the front page is the Epstein files. That's great. Gonna move away from that.
Sites like these and Newgrouds, they just exist as a time capsule nowadays.
They do.
And it sucks to say that, but if it weren't for nostalgia, nobody would keep them up.
See, my favorite like YTMNDs were like the ones where they would edit people into like anime intros. Like one of my favorites is Roger Moore is inserted into the fucking Full Metal Alchemist intro.
That's hilarious.
Because he did that one of his stupid like riot things he was doing. He was doing this weird like motion where he's like doing this on stage. And they made a gif of him like doing that, and he's running with the Elric brothers doing that. The dumbest shit ever, but I loved it back then.
Jesus.
Oh man. The internet used to be funny. Now we're just
now it's just a lot of angry people.
Now you can't have a sense of humor. It's too serious. Like people don't understand comedy. That's why on Reddit you have to like specify when you're using sarcasm.
This is a joke. Don't kill me.
That's why you always have to. I respond so often with the caption of "whoosh" because that's where the joke went. Yeah. But speaking of more modern things, we do have a new segment to start this week.
Yes, I'm very excited about this one.
See, seeing as this one is your baby, do you have an idea for our tagline for this one?
The Haunting of Bill House.
Okay. I will specify on Netflix. I was very confused for a minute because I typed in Hill House and I saw that one, but I also saw the house on Hell Hill, and I was like, I got confused. I was like, it was this one, right? So I had to like look up which one Mike Flanagan made because I was very confused for a second.
Oh yeah. So. Oh wait, do I have to wait for music? Are we doing music? I forgot. It's been a while since I did one of these.
You can start. I'll find music as I go.
So Hill House is the first of numerous series that Mike Flanagan would go on to work on. And I believe this was the first one where he was basically spearheading just about every aspect of it. He wrote, I mean, obviously, like, he had help, he had people on with him, but he wrote every episode, he directed every episode, he edited every episode. Like, he worked himself ragged to make this show work. And this is still at the point in time where Netflix wasn't being super meddling with it.
Yep.
Which was nice, because there was a series that he did later on where they got a little more involved, and it shows. Even though I still think it's good, it's definitely suffered because of, Netflix meddling with it. But it also began the trend of Mike Flanagan's series when he does a TV show based on a book compared to when he does a movie based on a book. Because I've noticed the movies that he does based on books generally tend to be pretty fucking accurate. Like, he might take a couple liberties here and there. Thinking mostly about Dr. Sleep when I say that. But for the most part, he'll be pretty dead on with the book. The series, he tends to get more creative with. Because I don't know if you've ever read The Haunting of Hill House or seen either of the previous adaptations.
No.
Very different story.
Gotcha.
There is a house where there may or may not be a haunting in the book. And some of the named characters are named characters in the book, but they're not even like playing the same people in this. But I just want to start with the opening lines for the series because it is the opening lines of the book with a couple tweaks, and it's still one of the best openings to anything ever. Mm-hmm. So no live organism can continue to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality. Even larks and katydids are supposed by some to dream. Hill House, not sane, stood by itself against its hills, holding darkness within. It had stood for 100 years before my family moved in, and might stand 100 more. Within, walls stood upright, bricks met neatly, floors were firm, silence lay steadily against the wooden stone of Hill House, and whatever walked there, walked alone. Like,
it does go pretty hard.
Yeah, that is a fucking hard open. Whether it's the book or the show. And we actually have a pretty stacked cast for this. This is actually it's the first instance of Mike Flanagan really like pulling from all the actors that he's used in previous projects.
I noticed his wife right away. Second she appeared.
I think this might have been...
They might not have been married at the time, but I know
this might have been the first project he had done after she became his wife.
Okay.
But he had worked... Actually, they met on a movie that he had made years before. Well, not super... It was like 2 or 3 years before. But yeah, let me run the cast list here.
I will say I wasn't expecting her to appear and then immediately be followed up by a hardcore lesbian scene, but sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was a choice.
it happened. I was like, oh, okay.
So the parents, right? Did you recognize either of them?
Vaguely, but I didn't take the time to actually research who.
Okay, so the mom, the actress, was Carla Gugino. Okay. You would probably most know her as the mom in Spy Kids.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But she has appeared in numerous other things. In fact, I discovered when I was doing a little bit of research before this, because neither of us have seen this movie, she apparently plays the Silk Spectre in the Watchmen movie.
Oh, is that her?
I guess so. She also is in Night at the Museum and
which Silk
the
Spectre?
movie. The
I think the first one. It's the older one. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, that doesn't look like the actress. I remember. No, that makes she would be the older Silk Spectre. So that makes sense.
And the dad, the actor who plays the young Hugh Crane, is Henry Thomas. You might not recognize him because most people probably know him for a role he played as a child.
Oh, he's the kid from E.T.
He's the kid from E.T.
All grown up.
All grown up, yep. Which we have actually seen him before in stuff that we've covered here. Because
he was in Dr. Sleep, wasn't he?
He played the ghost of Jack Torrance.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In that one scene. He fucking killed that too. A few other actors. Michael Huseman, who plays Stephen Crane, our central character for this episode.
Yep.
Elizabeth Razor as Shirley. Oliver Jackson Cohen as Luke, who's a fucking incredible actor. Kate Siegel, who we mentioned before, who plays Theo Crane, and Victoria Pedretti, who plays Nell. Fun fact, this is her first on-screen credit.
She does look very young in this show.
So we get like the beginning opening where we get that kind of like flashback scene of Nell waking up and she's freaking out or whatever, and Steven is going down to check on her, make sure everything's cool, because he's the older brother, it's his job.
Mm-hmm.
And she mentions the bent neck lady. It's like she's being haunted by the bent neck lady. It's become a consistent thing, something that will come up again later. And then the dad comes in, Hugh Crane, and he goes on the first of many monologues, because Mike Flanagan loves his monologues, and I'll admit I love them too. About how sometimes when you're young and your imagination is very, very big, your dreams can spill over into reality when you wake up. And which is actually interesting too, because later on we get a scene where an adult Steven is having a conversation with somebody who he is talking to about possibly writing their story as a book, where he kind of explains the same kind of deal to her. Like when she's talking about like her supernatural experience, and he almost it's like kind of a remixed version of his dad's little speech about it, but he basically tells her the same thing. So like, well, before we really dive into a lot of it, like, what were your first thoughts? Like, what were your first impressions going through this first episode?
It looked like a Mike Flanagan production, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't really sure when the horror was going to start because it kind of a little slow. Not gonna lie.
Well, that is kind of one of the things with Flanagan is like movies obviously gonna be a lot quicker. With his shows, that's where I think his talent really shines, because the horror almost comes second with his shows. It's really more about like exploring characters and ideas than it is about the actual scares. And that's part of what I love about it. Because it explores a lot of things that, especially with the series where he actually has time to really flesh a lot of this stuff out. And he can go into a lot of detail and really explore these things.
I will say the way it's set up, this is probably just an episode 1 thing more than anything, but I was a little lost at first with the changing of time between like the flash forwards and backs. I'm sure the later episodes will explain it a little better.
Well, the structure and like style of the way that this is done, it definitely seems very inspired by both it and The Shining. Because as we all know, Mike Flanagan is a very big Stephen King fan. He's adapted multiple works and is in the process of adapting 2 more that we know of. And even like, all right, so 3 of the siblings are characters from the book just changed, right? So Theo, Nell, and Luke are all characters from the book. He just changed who they are and like their roles in the show. Shirley is a stand-in for Shirley Jackson, the author of the book. And Steven, he says, is supposed to be like an ode to Steven Spielberg. But I think it's also supposed to be for Stephen King, especially because Stephen King pretty much wrote this exact character in another story that he wrote, which I've actually heard Mike Flanagan say previously is one of his favorite Stephen King stories. And one of the movies he made was like a off-brand version of that story, and he's blatantly admitted that. So I'm pretty sure he's supposed to also be there for Stephen King as well.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the Spielberg connection, so I'll take his word for it.
I think he just likes he's a fan of Spielberg. I mean, he did get the fucking kid from E.T. as a grown-up, so I mean,
true.
So, I also love that scene where like the dad's walking back after like putting the kids back to bed, and then he hears Shirley like sleep talking, and he's like, "Shirley, you're dreaming," and she's like, "The pandas aren't dreaming." He's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "The pandas don't like macaroni." Noted. He goes back to bed.
Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more explained about what happens in that house, because it seemed to be pretty traumatic.
Well, see, the structure of this show, and this is part of the reason why I like this show in particular for the way we do the segments, is the first 5 episodes are going to be like each episode is going to focus on a different sibling.
Okay.
And so we know how the episode ends with Nell is dead.
So she is dead. That wasn't just a
No,
crazy.
yeah, she's dead.
Okay.
And the first 5 episodes are all going to be like focusing on each individual sibling and that's all going to be building up to her funeral, which is, I'm guessing, part of the reason why they made Shirley own and operate a funeral home
That her sister uses as a fuck shack, apparently.
Well, her sister lives in like a back room in it or something, I guess.
I guess just the way
that whole scene, like, because this is our first introduction to her as an adult. Like, we kind of saw a little bit of her as a child in some of the flashbacks, but our first introduction to her is in like a bumping club in Boston, where she just like happens to like lock eyes with some random girl across the dance floor, and then she like whatever like the real life equivalent of slipping into someone's DMs is kind of what I'm imagining here.
Yeah, and they progress very quick.
Yeah, very, very fast.
And then she immediately just kicks her out. I'm like, oh, okay.
So like, yeah, because they do the deed and they're like, oh, that was great, whatever, and they're drinking their beers, and then Theo like sits up, and the girl is trying to like ask her questions about herself, get to know her a little bit, and she's just shutting her down, like no question, just shutting her down. And then she starts putting on these gloves. And like, I don't know about you, but my first instinct is that I'm watching a horror anything and I see somebody fuck someone and then start putting on gloves right afterwards. I think murder is about to happen.
Yeah. I did enjoy the like, what's that about? She's like, oh, I'm a germaphobe. Thanks, I won't take that personally.
Yeah, she goes, yeah, none taken. And then she's like, yeah, well, you know what? I have work in the morning, so get the fuck out. Is pretty much. And then like she goes up and has a beer with Shirley afterwards, and even Shirley's like, you're like worse than a frat boy.
She's like, you're like a dude. I did enjoy the line of she seemed like a nice girl. She's like, nah, too much drama. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, too much baggage, whatever. She's like,
yeah.
How would you know from such a quick exchange? She says, who says it's quick? I'm a giver.
That seemed to caught me off guard. I was like, oh, okay. I'm sure this will be important later.
Too funny. But no, that was a fun one. And then we also got like the bits about. So we're probably gonna bounce around a little bit.
The plot kind of bounces around. So
Steven kind of seems like an oddball. Like, not like an oddball, but he seems like he's not really slotted in with the rest of the family. You know what I mean?
No.
Which is weird to say because you'd think that would be Luke, right? Because Luke's the one. He's the one of the youngest siblings.
One,
actually,
it appears.
Huh?
The homeless one.
Well, he's in rehab.
Okay.
At the beginning of the episode, because we had that scene earlier or later in the episode where they all wake up at the same time,
right,
and he is in like a shared space at the rehab when that happens.
Okay.
And we don't really get very much of him in this episode. Actually, we kind of mostly are seeing Steven and Shirley throughout this episode.
Yeah, the only other time Luke appears is when he's robbing Steven.
Yeah, and he's like tweaking hard. Like, he's got the shakes and everything. Like, he's not doing good. But the interesting thing though is like, so like, yeah, Steven comes back and he catches Luke like walking out of his apartment with his stuff. And like having broken the door down and everything, right? And like basically Steven just you can see the look on his face, and I don't know if you've ever had any sort of consistent dealings with addicts, but like the look on his face of Steven's face is like very much like the "here we go again" kind of thing. It's like, look, dude, like I got $200 in my pocket. You can take it. You can sell the camera. I need the iPad. I need it for work. Just take the other shit and go. I don't got time for this. And Luke takes the money, but he gives everything else back. Which, you know, aside staying within the bounds of this one episode, it's not really too much we can conceive from that.
I'm guessing that camera means more than they're letting on. Or is it just a red herring?
I mean, I can't imagine it means that much if he was willing to just say, fuck it, take it and sell it.
No, they seem to highlight it for some reason.
That's true. Mike Flanagan doesn't highlight anything by accident.
Yeah, I'll wait and see, I guess.
And I will say, when it comes to somebody who's actively using any opportunity they can get for money to, you know, especially when they're in a position like him where he's kind of has nothing to work with as it stands. Like, there is no giving back. It's just, all right, I'll take it and do my thing, you know?
Yeah.
So it kind of brings up more questions than it answers with him. And what else? So we did get a little bit with we haven't really talked much about Nell yet, because she spends this whole first episode calling her two oldest siblings. Obviously, like, she can't call Luke because he's in rehab at the beginning, at least. And obviously, there's some sort of friction between her and Theo that Theo mentions at some point, like when her and Shirley are talking. But she calls Steve and she calls Shirley, trying to get in touch with them, trying to figure some stuff out. Like, she's clearly freaking out because they both try to call her back. Neither of them get a hold of her. I think it was when Steven calls her back, she's like rushing into like a motel room and she's freaking out. Like, so it kind of seems like something just happened, but we don't know what. And then she ends up calling her dad, or all of their dad, really. And basically just doing like a whole like, oh, you remember the bent neck lady when I used to get freaked out by her or whatever? She's back. And he is like no hesitation, like, all right, go to Steven's house. I'm hopping on a plane because I'm in Florida right now. I want to hop on a plane and I'm going to meet you there. But like, go to Steven's house right now. Fucking tell him I sent you. Tell him I'll be there. Like, we're not fucking around here. So whatever this bent neck lady is, it's clearly something serious. It's more than just, you know, childhood, whatever. Because we also do get a bunch of scenes of like him right after whatever happened at Hill House happened, where he's talking to a lawyer and the lawyer is doing like the whole like, your kids need to take the stand because, you know, you could possibly go to jail because we don't know what happened and your wife is dead. And, the tabloids are saying this and that. And you said something to the cops about ghosts. And it just kind of leaves a whole lot up in the air. We got a little bit of the Dudleys in this episode, and they're very interesting characters because Mr. Dudley was a very quick thing. Wasn't really a whole lot going on with him. It was just kind of like him working on the house with Hugh, and then Mrs. Dudley we got a little bit more with, where she was talking about the history of the house a little bit with the young Steve, and then she started pressing him about Jesus. Which, you know, people will do. Trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, I took notes throughout, but I feel like we paused around so much, so I'm kind of lost at where I should pick back up.
To be fair, that the entire episode kind of bounces around all over the place. Because like we eventually get to the whole like scene where like we find out why they left the Hill House, and it's like that dramatic like drive away scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we get the scene where Luke sees a girl named Abigail from the window. But then also like there was another scene we had of him in a treehouse, and Steve came up and he was like, "Oh yeah, I saw this girl out in the woods." And we also had another scene where a young Nell and Shirley were trying to find keys to this red room. It was a room with a red door that has been apparently locked for decades. Nobody's been able to get in.
And there's very clearly something behind it.
Yes. Like Nell mentions as much, and then after they leave, we see the shadow moving under the door. But it's one of those things that's just kind of like shelved for now.
It seemed kind of like what the thing with this episode was, where it had a whole bunch of different threads that it established, but then kind of leaves them all kind of just there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like it is a Steven episode, so we're not going to be seeing as much of this stuff as we would be if it was anybody else, because he even blatantly says in the episode, "I've never seen shit." Like he's very clearly a skeptic. Like he doesn't believe in this shit.
Yeah, he seems to be the one who's like the least fucked up.
Even though he makes a living writing about people's quote unquote true experiences with the supernatural or preternatural, as he says.
Yeah, because he basically just takes his family's stories and publishes them for gain, and they're not thrilled about it.
No, well, we only really get Shirley's opinion on it, but I think it's pretty easy to assume that nobody else feels great about it. Because obviously everybody's got their issues in this family. I mean, the dad's constantly talking to himself or talking to someone who isn't there. At least in the present. I mean, Theo just seems to be just kind of doing her own thing, but she's also got her own demons, you could tell.
Yeah.
Shirley is very much like
burnt out.
She's just very burnt out and like pissy about the anything, and like even when she's like getting ready to call Nell back, and her husband comes in and like showing her like this new picture of like the business and the family in front of it, like he's all like, "Oh, look at this came in," and she's like, "Yeah, whatever, very nice," like, and she just moves it along. Like she just seems like she has a very like low tolerance, you know what I mean?
I also kind of got the they didn't really specify it, but I'm assuming Steven is separated from his wife.
Yes. Yeah, because we see like the scene earlier when he's like, when Shirley first confronts him about the book, when they're clearly living in like a shitty apartment and they're not doing well. And his, I think at the time, fiance was there with him, and then once he gets the word that that Nell was told to go to his house, that was when it kind of gets soft revealed that he's separated from his wife.
Yeah, because he's talking to the lady on the phone, and they highlight the ring, but like they also make it very clear there's problems there.
Yeah, like when especially like when he's talking to her on the phone, and he's like, "Yeah, so there's a chance my sister might show up at the house," and she's like, "My house?" He goes, "The house, yes." Like very clearly, like doesn't want to admit that separation. Like he very clearly wants this relationship to work and continue, but obviously there's some sort of problem that just overshadows everything else.
I get the feel from the way that phone call went. It seems like he's the problem.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay, we'll find out later.
This show is built on mystery, and I'm not revealing shit to you.
I've read enough Reddit to know that I'm like, seems like he's the one that's avoiding the problems here.
Yeah. Let's see. How did you feel about the whole like the interview that he was having with that lady, Irene?
Honestly, that was probably one of the more interesting parts of the show, I'd say. Just the way that
that
was
happens
handled.
that happens like right at the beginning of the show, pretty much. Like right after we get the little like flashback scene with Nell having the nightmare, or whatever you want to call it, the dream spilling over or haunting or whatever you want to say. But
That was a pretty dramatic story. That lady's acting was really good. That's
yeah. But it's also like so many times throughout like especially in like a scene like that where I'm watching, I'm like, this is incredibly acted, but that's not how people talk at all.
that's what I mean. When it comes to this, you just kind of have to be like, suspicion of disbelief.
Yeah.
I do love the reveal after he stays the night, though, where he's like, your ceiling's got a leak. You didn't notice the water damage because of the paneling. She's like, but I saw him. She's like, the mind does really weird things, but I saw him.
Again, it was the whole the dream spilling over into reality. He's kind of repackaging that same, and that is kind of something that you'll see a few times throughout the series, where somebody will just repackage something wholesale that somebody else told them.
Yeah,
there's another character in particular who's particularly guilty of that.
Gotcha.
But anyways, we should probably get back to the scene like right after Luke walks off with the money, and Steve goes back up to his apartment. He turns on the light, and Nell's just standing there in the dark, and he freaks out. He's like, "Oh shit! Like, thanks. I needed a good scare." And like he's going on like about how you just like pull him out of rehab and call us all up, and you just let him in here and watch him rob me. Like, great, that's very nice. Well, you have my attention. What the fuck's the problem? And before she has a chance to say anything, he gets a call from their dad. Be it like, yeah, so this and that. Nell dead. Then he turns and looks at like he's like, and like you can see a look at his face being like, I'm looking right at her. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not gonna lie, the quote unquote scare here, I found it more amusing than scary.
Yeah, well, it's
I thought she was gonna explode. I was like, what are we doing?
Well, here's the thing: is like this, and he's even been on record of saying this. This is a 10-hour movie. It's not.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's gonna be a build up. You know. And I'm not gonna lie. This is probably my least favorite episode of the series, just because it's mostly set up. Yeah. I'm not crazy about Steven as a character.
He seems very much like the audience surrogate, to be honest.
Yeah, he's just like everybody pushes back against the supernatural aspects of it all, but he just pushes back too hard.
Yeah, he seems like Mr. No Fun.
Yeah,
which
well, even when he gets into like his argument with Shirley, where he's going on about how mom was mentally ill, and then he comes this close to saying that just like you, to his pregnant sister.
Yeah,
which obviously went over well.
Yeah, yeah, he does seem he's got wet blanket syndrome.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, like they all went through like a very traumatizing event in their lives, and it affected some of them more than others. Apparently, it affected the younger two the most, because one of them is incredibly mentally unstable, and the other one was a heroin addict. So yeah,
one's mentally unstable and dead.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're twins, by the way. They don't say that in this episode, but they are twins.
Okay. Oh, is that why they were in the same bedroom?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, that's the first episode. And so, overall thoughts on just the introduction?
There's potential. It's definitely a first episode, though.
Yeah, definitely setting groundwork.
A little all over the place. That was my first feeling.
Well, again, it's very much styled after it in that way, where we're going to be getting a lot of present/past comparison scenes and such. Like, that's another thing too, is I loved how we had that scene in a treehouse with Luke and Steve, where they're having that whole talk about, yeah, us two guys, just us hanging out, the cool kids doing the cool kid things, everything else. And literally the very next, as soon as that scene cuts out, it jumps to Luke robbing him in the present.
Yeah.
And like the way that they do those kinds of comparison scenes just fucking just hits.
Yeah. I'm sure the following episodes will definitely build upon the things, because that's kind of where I was at, where I'm like, where are we going?
Hmm.
It's like the train started, but we haven't reached the destination yet.
Yeah, no, the train just pulled out of the station. We're still building up speed.
We just finished boarding. We haven't even taken off yet.
Yeah, the ticket was punched. So yeah, we started with the oldest, and as I said, we're going to be going through each of the siblings. It's going to go in descending order. So next episode will be about Shirley.
Okay.
So
I'm assuming Nell's episode is the funeral.
The funeral is actually after her episode.
Okay, so she gets a flashback episode.
Yeah, we're gonna get well, pretty much a lot of the pieces are gonna get tied up in her episode. I'll say that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
All right. Well, I think on that note, we can prepare for next week.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah, so that should be interesting. Getting my brain's not working. I am very tired today. Yeah, I guess now the perfect time though to end this off. Once again, guys, thank you for joining us on Geek Addicts. You can find Geek Addicts on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. You can check us out over on the Superpod Network. That's superpodnetwork.com. Awesome site where you can find a whole bunch of different videos, blogs, podcasts. Check out all the awesome creators over there. And yeah, I guess until next time, guys, once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
Have a good one.